Welcome to the Liquidity Event, a show about all things personal finance with a laser focus on taxes, financial independence, and equity compensation. Hosted by AJ and Shane of Brooklyn FI, each episode will focus on a personal finance topic, some driven by news headlines and sometimes driven by listener questions. And sometimes you'll just get two money nerds rambling about what they think is interesting. Just a quick note before we get started, this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered tax or investment advice.
Hello and welcome to the Liquidity Event. I am your host Shane Mason.
And I'm Allie Jane Ayers.
And this is episode 153, being recorded on July 23rd, 2025, airing on July 24th. That's right, folks, just a one-day turnaround time for the podcast now, so the news will be fresher, hotter, hot and ready for you, Little Caesar style. Quick reminder for you listeners, we will answer your questions on the pod. If you leave us a message, you can disguise your voice. You can use a pseudonym if you're shy. The link is memo.fm/the liquidity event. AJ, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. You saying that our podcast would be fresh reminded me that over the weekend, I was reheating some Thai food that was like a week old, and I took a bite out of it. I was like, this is disgusting. I looked at my husband and I was like, why are we eating old food? And then we established this inside joke about used food, food leftovers or certified pre-owned food, and various levels of quality as if it were a used car. So tonight it's what do you want to do for dinner tonight? It's should we get some new food? Should we ball out and get some non-used food tonight? So that's what we've been laughing about in the Ayers household this week. What's
your ratio of cooking to ordering?
We rarely order. Ordering is I don't know. I'm either an out at a restaurant or cooking at home. I would say we order takeout
Well, that is included in the ordering. I'm sorry, I should have clarified my rules.
I would say it's probably 80-20, mostly cooking, maybe 70-30 during a busy social time, but mostly eating at home.
That's really surprising. Are you guys cooking new things? Are you on this week's pod, we're just going to be discussing what AJ cooks and what her husband cook at the house. So,
I mean,
for those of you that didn't know, AJ had a cooking blog before
right.
She was a famous financial planner and author. She was a food writer for The Kitchen Princess.
R.I.P. Kitchen Princess.
Legends never die, AJ. Legends never die.
I know. How are you? You're not cooking anything. You're eating every meal out because you're in Barcelona.
I haven't cooked a meal since April. I want to say I've been on the road since April. Yeah, my house is being renovated. It's a 6-month renovation. I took that opportunity to.
You mean a 12-month renovation? But go ahead.
Hit the road. It should be done by the end of September, mid-October. But it was raining too hard apparently for all of July. So yes, naturally.
I've heard that one before. It was raining too hard. The building permits, the stone was delayed, the tiles sunk to the bottom of the ocean in the Mariana Trench. I've heard it all.
Yeah, I'm going to have to scuba dive down there myself to recover the tiles that
the porcelain
fell off
tile.
the container ship. I'm in Barcelona. So it is 4 p.m. where I am. Where is it where you are?
I am in Brooklyn getting ready for our exciting Brooklyn week next week. We have a client event and our all-company retreat. We are bringing all 20 members of the Brooklyn FI team to New York City to hang out at camp at a lovely, I wouldn't call it a camp, it's a fancy boutique hotel in the Catskills. I'm super excited to see the whole team, to play some Frisbee, to roast some marshmallows around the fire. Classic old camp retreat. Classic corporate forced fun. My favorite kind of fun.
Forced fun, yes. It's funny when you are the one having fun foisted and forced upon you, and then you end up doing it when you become an entrepreneur. How the turns have tabled, so to speak. On today's episode, we have more AI scams. I'm excited to talk to you about ways that we can prevent these scams from happening to you. They only seem to be getting more and more prevalent. Apple is copying Samsung on the foldable phone craze that is very popular in China. And we have a 4-day work week from my motherland, Iceland, coming in the pod. Up first, we have a scam article today. A Hillsborough woman is conned out of $15,000 after an AI AI has cloned her daughter's voice. Apparently, it was a classic case of someone calling up someone of an elder generation, and using some fake information. There's a big rush. There's a lot of urgency surrounding a car accident, I believe, in this case, which required the elder generation to get cash out of a bank account and meet someone shady and hand that box of cash off. We've talked about it multiple times on the podcast. It is an underlying element of our cast. We like to talk about scams because it is financially related. It is something to be aware of. It is spicy. In this case, they actually circled back for round 2. They seem to get really greedy with these scams. If it works the first time, they seem to go back. AJ,
They don't let you go. Yeah. I mean, that's the first is just a taste to make sure, to get you on the hook. Yeah, I mean, this scam, this is an AI, so they obviously had access to the daughter's social media or saw a video of her somewhere on the internet. I mean, you and I are clear targets for AI spoofing because there's literally thousands of hours of you and I talking about equity compensation online. So this person is calling hysterical and basically gets the mom to go to the bank and withdraw cash. Now, this is the, 6th time I've heard of this year alone. We're seeing these scams more and more. They're impacting. I don't love scams. I hate scams, and I want to educate people about them. Folks, the government does not take cash. The government does not accept wires. You cannot wire the government money from a Western Union. You cannot hand over an FBI agent $15,000 in cash. That's not a thing. That is most definitely 100% always a scam. I don't know how to make that more clear. It just is always a scam if there's cash involved. I don't know how to prevent this. Some ideas I have a code word like banana. And when your daughter, quote unquote, your AI daughter calls up and say, "Hey, daughter, I'm so sorry you're in a car accident. Just, want to confirm it's you. What's the code word?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" It's a scam. I don't know. Always call them and text them. Try to get them on FaceTime if you can. What else you got?
Friendly reminder. I don't feel like our listeners are going to be the ones that fall for the scam. I hear you. I think
disagree. We have had clients fall for scams. We have had people our age fall for scams. Like, this is not this only happens to our parents kind of thing.
No, 100%. I would say like a percentage of our clients that fall for the scam are quite low compared to older generations. But yeah, you're right. It does happen. But I just want to reiterate, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before as well, that over 54% of adults read below a 6th grade level in terms of literacy. So I imagine it has something to do with the critical thinking skills, and it's just a fun time to. I think the only way that we could really move the needle here would be to dismantle the Department of Education. I think that's a really smart move by the current administration. To cut down on negative side effects and externalities of under education and a lack of critical thinking skills. I think if we just slowly dismantle the infrastructure that allows for a literate population and a smart population that can really decipher. Okay, this has gone on long enough. You see where I'm going with this?
I have 2 solutions.
Okay.
Solution.
Go ahead. I was gonna say I already texted my mom. It's time. She's close to 70. The sisters are on the group text. We're gonna get the code word set up.
Yeah, the code word I think is a good thing, and it just just reading more of these articles. That's why we keep talking about them. It's just like, oh, this was the AI scam about a car crash. So if someone calls you and says, "Oh my God, I was just in a car crash," and you're like, "Huh, I think my daughter's usually at work at 3 p.m. Why would she be in the car?" Maybe you'll second guess it a little bit, and that'll help. 2 solutions. 1, don't answer your phone ever. That's what I do. Let it roll to voicemail.
I'm with Gen Z on this one. No phone.
Second solution is if your older parents, obviously they have a laptop, they have a desktop, get them an Apple computer. They're just much harder to get control of someone's desktop. They are more protected from malware and spyware and whatever. That alone can make a huge difference. And that was a tip from our cybersecurity guy, which is like, if your parents have a PC, get them on Mac, show them how to use the Mac. That can reduce a lot of these kind of like, hey, share your screen, let me help you kind of things where, once that can of worms gets open, they've got access to everything. So.
Yeah.
This is not the last time we're going to be talking about this, Shane.
That's a tough one, switching from Windows to Mac in your 60s. Since I don't see, I was a failure in that regard. But the reason, if you don't know, is that, listener, is that a Windows machine is set up to default to yes for all access, and you can be the administrator. And then you have to turn off access to certain things, whereas a Mac machine is defaulted to no, and then you have to, as an administrator, give permission to third parties for that at a high level. I'm not a cybersecurity expert, but that is one thing I do understand about the differences between the two operating systems. The other difference is that Windows are for real jobs and Mac OS is for looking like you have it. Oh, okay, sorry. Enough of that. All right, next up next article today is about the foldable iPhone. I didn't realize this was going to be a foldable iPhone until I saw this article. I'm really surprised by this move from Apple. I don't get it. The article highlights certain points in time where Apple has been the first to move into a design option, and then oftentimes they're considered from a brand perspective to be a latecomer to certain types of technology, and then they flesh it out and finish it essentially, and they make it better and perfect. They weren't they made the best smartphone, but they were the first one to the portable, to the iPod as a mobile music device, but they're coming to the foldable phone late, and they're copying Samsung here. What are your thoughts, AJ, on a foldable phone? Would you buy a foldable phone? It looks like it's going to be more expensive than a standard model.
This is like one of those things where, my initial reaction is like, ew, I don't want this. But within 2 years, given Apple's general dominance and mastery of a product, I have a feeling that you and I will both have foldable phones within 24 months. That's my prediction. I think this is also Apple realizing that, or maybe us as consumers realizing that the US is not the only consumer of Apple products, and Samsung is already huge in China, and the biggest market for these foldable phones is China. So this is sort of like, hey, it works in China, let's try it, and let's try it in the US. If it doesn't work, that's okay. We still have a market of the billions of people that live in China, so we good. We don't care if you don't like our foldable phone, and also we're Apple, so by the time it's so ubiquitous, you'll, mortgage your house to get one.
Yeah, to
use a little hyperbole.
Yeah, I get the detail about the rising middle class abroad and how this is a design choice that resonates with the Asian population. But yeah, I don't see it working for people in the United States, but maybe once if they can get kids to use it, or the younger generation, 18 to 34, so to speak, then I think older people will want to hop on the bandwagon. But who knows what will happen here? It just seems like it makes it easier for me to lose my phone at this point if I can fold it in half, which is already fun enough for me trying to keep track of it. They're already waterproof. The screens are so much tougher now. I don't really get what other features we're going to get from being able to bend this thing in half, besides maybe that the screens can be a lot bigger, and then we can fold them in half and get them into our pockets. I don't know. Again, this is something that I'm cool. Skeptical right now, but this is the Liquidity Event where we don't know.
I'm susceptible. Yeah, anyway, we don't know. Next article.
You're not the only ones, people. We don't know what's going on in the foldable phone space, but excited to see it. It would be one of the biggest innovations in the iPhone space that's not relevant to software in quite some time. I don't know how much better these cameras can get.
The innovation have just been like, get a half an inch bigger, half an inch smaller.
Yeah.
3/4 of an inch bigger, 3/4
Yeah, titanium. As somebody that left his iPhone in the Mediterranean Sea for 2 hours a couple weeks ago, I am stoked that they got rid of the iPhone or the headphone jack and made them waterproof, including salt waterproof. The phone is in good shape. So, it's been a minute, but I'm happy to see her. I'm excited to see where they're going with this. All right, next article. Investors cheer new crypto law while critics warn of potential for crisis. Crypto regulation, AJ. We have a couple items coming down the pipeline from the House and Senate. One of those things that we're not getting is another vote on the Epstein case, considering Mike Johnson
sent everyone home, right?
Sent everyone home early for a couple months.
For summer
what
vacation.
Screams I'm guilty more than like, we don't want to play anymore. We're done playing this game. Look at all these snowflakes. These snowflakes can't vote. They would rather. Anyway, so what we do get is
I can't imagine someone quitting a game because they're losing. That's crazy.
dear listener. Speaking of retreats, our very first retreat that BKFi ever had was called The Week in the Creek. And it was in upstate New York. And we played a game called Secret Hitler, wherein one person is secretly Hitler.
It's a board game, folks.
It's a board game.
It's a popular, fun board game about World War II or espionage. But
yeah,
it and you Secret Hitler.
don't be a snowflake and get just because the word Hitler comes up, don't get your feathers ruffled. It's a game about lying to each other, and some people are good guys, some guys are bad guys, and you will lose friends over this. You will see your friends in a new light because you didn't realize how well they could lie to you.
Lie to your face.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really fun. I got shook. I've been shaketh by friends. And
Shooketh?
Somebody, what was it again? Somebody accused you of being. You can kill someone in this game pretty late in the game.
The problem is that me and 2 other employees had gone on a field trip, and we had missed the reading of the rules, and we entered the game late, and I was already a few upstate brewskis deep, and I didn't really understand the rules.
Dark, y'all. And somebody killed.
And someone got me out of the game within 3 minutes of sitting down, and I got very upset and left in a very immature huff in front of all of our employees. Not my finest moment, but I have a chance at redemption this week in the creek.
She snapped her tennis racket against the ground and walked away from the court.
Sure did. That was a poor display of sportsmanship. No one's getting them. I did not get the Miscongeniality Award that year at the Bundys.
It was pretty funny.
I'll tell you that much.
It was funny. Anyway, after
how did we get on this?
People quitting, rage quitting.
Oh, quitting! Right.
What Congress is not quitting is moving forward with these crypto regulations. Apparently, the Genius Act bifurcates certain types of crypto assets between those that need to be regulated by the SEC and those to be regulated by the Futures and Commodities Commissions. One of which is much more serious than the other. And luckily, guess what? Trump owns a certain type of coin that is not going to be regulated under the Genius Act. And one of what this bill essentially does is it allows for any type of company or a lot of different types of companies to move out of a legal gray area and issue stable coins. So one example from within the article, AJ, you want to talk about Toys R Us?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're basically the article is using stable coins as Toys R Us, remember Jeffrey, the giraffe? Jeffrey the giraffe, there were like Toys R Us bucks, which is a reference point for us millennials as like literally not real money. Which is funny because stablecoin, in the case of a company like Circle, it is actually pegged to the dollar, and there are liquidity requirements and reserve requirements for Circle. What this is doing is, like you said, legitimizing this kind of gray area. You and I could start Shay J Coin tomorrow under this act. I don't know. I don't think this is just legitimizing deregulation. I don't like it. See above the scam that we just talked about for 20 minutes. People need protection with their money. It's all people's entire life savings are in these accounts. We have heard through clients and through Circle's firsthand accounts of elderly folks getting their entire retirement accounts wiped out through crypto scams. And unfortunately, there's no recourse to recover that money. So if someone gets into your parents' IRA because there's this awesome stable coin that they need to invest in, and they lose that $120,000, you can't get that back. And also you can't write it off as a loss because we got rid of that tax write-off like three tax reforms ago. So I hate it, Shane. Interesting stock point here, though. I would have thought that with this regulation, the Circle stock price would have gone up, but it didn't. It actually was downgraded because it's dropped like 20% just at this announcement because there's more players who are going to enter the space now, right? Circle was a trailblazer, and now the floodgates are open. It's a wide open market. So just because they were first doesn't mean they're the best and going to maintain the market share that they have.
Sick. Cool. Awesome. For the record, you remember the 2017 crypto craze? That was 8 years ago that we all got swept up in that bubble. And I have yet to use crypto for any type of use case in those 8 years. So I don't know. Maybe eventually. Maybe the Genius Act. Does Genius even stand for anything in this case, or just calling it?
I'm sure it does. It's capitalized. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Good enough nincompoops intelligently usurping the SEC is what it stands for.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but... And there's another piece of legislation, not just the Genius bill, But there's also the Clarity Act, which is more statutory in nature, which is a little bit earlier in the approval process. This isn't on the president's desk or anything, but this is the one that's actually related to the commissions, the SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. It just essentially establishes different levels of legislation or oversight for these different assets. So I think the Trump coin is that's the one that's going to be relevant to that. And there's the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. I'm sorry. I'm also skipping over the fact that one of these bills makes it illegal for the United States government to issue a coin, which I found very interesting that was going to be the case.
That seems like a reversal from policy that we've tried to implement recently. Is it Argentina that issued their own coin? Or Chile? It was one of those South American countries. Brazil?
I believe Ecuador adopted Bitcoin as a
official
government currency. Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about policies of small homogenous countries coming up with Iceland's 4-day work week later. It's always an interesting to look at like Norway's policies or New Zealand's policies as small homogenous
tiny
countries.
Monocultures of 500,000 people.
Yeah, we always in the States use these as examples of things that we should do, forgetting that, like we're like 15% black and 30% Hispanic and we span 3,000 miles. It's like we're just way more of a mix than other countries. But we'll circle back to that in a bit. Is there anything else you want to talk about with these 3 crypto bills coming up? It just seems like something to keep an eye on, but I'm still waiting for the use case. I guess they do mention that the good use cases for crypto would be if we can get away from, which we've brought up in the past before, is the ability to move money across country borders. Yeah, which is, I'm paying for these renovations, as I mentioned earlier, which is in pesos, which unfortunately the dollar has had the worst first 6 months since like 1971 or whatever. So me being abroad and me paying for things from US to peso has just gotten like 15% more expensive for me this year, but that's the dice you roll. It would be really nice to be able to have just a stable coin. I guess the stable coin would have lost value with the dollar, but there are all of these fees relevant to moving money outside of the United States that I would love to avoid.
I'm sure that the crypto world will figure out how to charge you fees and we'll just write it. To me, it's like cable, right? It's like everyone was like, get rid of cable. Now we have Netflix. And now all of a sudden we all, I don't want to say all of us, but in a household like mine where we love to watch television, we have a Netflix, which is like $15.99. We have Apple TV, which is $20. We have Amazon Prime, which is whatever it is a year. What's the other one we just canceled? Oh, I have Peacock, so I can watch golf sometimes.
Disney Plus, Paramount Plus,
Disney Plus,
Hulu, Shudder, if you're me.
Yeah, so I don't know. My
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, there you go.
For my heads out there.
Okay, don't know
Anime
what that
heads.
means, but I think that's a good thing. Yeah, my point that I was trying to make after naming every single streaming service was that we were like, oh, we don't want to pay the high cable fees. Let's go streaming. It's cheaper. And we just end up paying basically what we were paying before. So, I don't want to pay the bank fees. I don't want to pay the wire transfer fees. I don't want to pay the exchange rate. It's like, well, these crypto companies are going to figure out the fees. Like, you're going to be right back where you started. So even if you think you're saving money by using crypto and not moving dollars to pesos, we're going to be in the same place. We're all going to end up paying for cable.
Perhaps. Speaking of those subscription services, I would have been okay for the switch from cable all-in-one package to all of these streaming services, especially if they had passed that click-to-cancel bill that the FTC or I guess we did pass it and the FTC decided to cancel it. I forget where we're at with the legislation there. But
they canceled the click-to-cancel.
But
they had to call.
They canceled the click-to-cancel. Yeah, they called whoever they had to call and waited on hold for a couple hours.
Waited on hold for 6.5 hours.
And they just canceled the credit card instead, or they just disputed it, which I've been there before this year where I think...
Oh.
I'm not going to tell my legacy of the projector that arrived broken and then... Anyway.
Just thought of a problem with flip phones. If you're like making a call and you're on hold for a long time, like I've been on that where you're like walking around and you're like on hold and like you drop your phone. You're like, oh God, please don't lose my place in line. A flip phone, if you drop your phone, it'll close and hang up. So that's a good reason not to get a flip phone. Anyway.
Well, what is more satisfying than just closing the phone?
I mean, remember the sidekicks? Like the sidekick is like the main character. Did you ever watch Gossip Girl? Like the whole first season is just like them like on their sidekicks like moving the screen.
No, I can't. I constantly confuse Gossip Girl with what's the other one?
Gilmore Girls?
Glamour Girls?
Golden Girls?
Golden
Gilmore
Girls?
Girls?
I don't know. Gilmore Girls, yeah. Gossip Girl, Gilmore. How could I not confuse those two? What's in there for me, AJ?
I think you would like Gossip Girl.
Why?
It's an interesting look at the
Not fast
family
enough.
dynamics.
Not fast enough. I needed an answer a lot faster.
I think it's. I don't think you like that kind of entertainment, so I don't think it's for you.
Oh, okay. Too intelligent, too emotionally in touch.
Anyway, what else are we reading?
Just poking around.
this week?
Just poking around. Okay, the UK tax closed a tax loophole for the global rich. Now they're fleeing. I thought this was a fun one for us to discuss because it has to do with the differences between US tax policy and UK tax policy from a who we tax perspective. And then also it has to do with wealth taxes and income taxes and the fight or flight that the billionaires are experiencing when territories change their policies. So within the United States, no matter where you go, if you're a U.S. citizen, you will be taxed on your worldwide income. That means that if you live in Spain, for example, and you're a U.S. citizen, you haven't been to the United States in 15, 20, 25 years. Let's say you weren't even born in the United States, but you have a U.S. passport and you've never been to the United States, technically your worldwide income would be taxable by the IRS, as well as whatever jurisdiction you're living in, which requires a double a filing of both tax returns and then a reconciliation process. Within the UK, they don't tax their citizens based on citizenship. They base it on residency. So if you live there, whatever income that you earn there would be taxed within the United Kingdom. But also if you are a billionaire that has moved to the United Kingdom, or really just anyone that has moved to the United Kingdom, there is a certain types of status called non-dom status, wherein you can live within the United Kingdom, but if you jump through certain loopholes, you will be taxed as a non-domiciliary, which means that your worldwide income would not be taxed there. And they have been complaints worldwide by people gentrifying certain neighborhoods. They used to call the UK or Londongrad after a number of oligarchs from Russia moved there and decided that their money was safer in London condos instead of the ruble, which was a good call. Great place to stash cash. Maybe it doesn't increase in value as much as investments do, but at least no one's going to come and take away your apartment because it's not as liquid. They've changed the rules and there has been a bit of flight. AJ, do you want to comment on the status? Or what are your thoughts on this change of policy by the UK government?
Yeah, I think this is a lot of, the article is basically about how everyone's fleeing and this change is like everyone's leaving. And there was a professor, this is not the first time they've tried to do this, and they did it before, and it was something like 5% of the top, 10,000 richest people left. Like this impacts a very small amount of people. So I think this is a lot of blathering, and I think this kind of tax works. And the article is like, it's like a Wall Street Journal, like, let's interview 5 people and then write an article about those 5 people's opinions and quotes that they said. So like one of the opinions is like, well, they thought London was good enough to, they thought London was so great that we would pay to be here. It's like, we don't need to live in London. We're going to go live in Dubai or wherever. It's like, okay, fine. So that'll be like 2% of the people who leave London. I'm sorry. I have to read this quote from this article because it's so good.
I loved it.
Canadian Anne Kaplan Mulholland moved to the UK in 2022, so not that long ago, after selling her medical loan business and her youngest child started college. So somehow probably benefiting from the UK education system, so that's one part of this. She bought a rundown 13th century castle and spent £15 million, about $20 million, to make renovations and build restaurants and a wedding business on site. How many clients do we have that would what a dream for so many people. Like, I'm going to buy this old castle, I'm going to renovate it, I'm going to throw parties, I'm going to get to, make people happy through. So this person has established this beautiful life for themselves. She hired a staff of 100, joined her local church, started doing her grocery shopping at the retailer Marks and Spencer, which is just like the fancy grocery store in the UK. But now she is on her way out. She and her husband, a plastic surgeon, applied to move to Italy, which charges a flat fee of about $230,000 a year for expats in lieu of tax on foreign income. So she can avoid taxes if she moves to Italy. And she goes here. It is very difficult to go because we are settled, she said. I would be the happiest person ever if all of this gets reversed. Now that quote was just like, the epitome of human stupidity, and this obsession with paying lower taxes does not make you happy. Living your life, building this person sounds like they have like a dream life. They've worked hard, they made a bunch of money, they retired, they have this like lovely secondary business in this beautiful place, and the thing that she's saying is going to make her happy is paying lower taxes and uprooting her entire family to move to a country that has 0 GDP growth. Like, blessings. Sorry.
I mean, study after study after study shows that there is no increase in happiness after about $170,000 of income. Like, I think it stops at like $90K if you have a standard median, a normal level of income and expenses, a normal level of expenses in the United States. If you need more money in New York City, for example, there's no way these people are happier because they're making $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this weird. There's this sort of like international, top 1%. Dick measuring, if you will, of who's paying the least taxes. Like, oh, I'm paying the least taxes because I drive my private jet around to like these 17 different countries. I only spend 5 minutes in each of them, and that's how I get around it. And it's like, cool. Well, you obviously have no friends because you're not in one place for more than 5 minutes. So congratulations. You pay the lowest tax rate of your 15 billionaire friends, who, by the way, all hate you and are reporting you to various tax jurisdictions.
Let them go.
Like,
just let them go.
Live your life, rich people. Like, what is
These
wrong
aren't
with
people
you?
building community. Sure, you created jobs.
I don't know. I mean, that's what's crazy about this story to me. I mean, obviously there's more to the story, but there's this like lovely photo of her with her husband in front of this beautiful castle, and she's like running this business. Anyway, that's my soapbox for today. Just pay the damn tax and live your life, people.
Yeah, it's the tax tails wagging the dog. I don't get it. Speaking of tiny islands, we have Iceland approves a 4-day work week in 2019. That's 6 years ago. And nearly 6 years later, all the predictions made by Generation Z, I don't know why they were referencing Gen Z, have come true from the Paris 2018 news. So essentially in Iceland in 2019, a very progressive, forward-looking country, they have enacted a 4-day work week. That doesn't mean that you only work in Iceland. Instead of 40 hours, you're working 36 hours. So it's not just a full chop of the hours, but it is a reduction of 4 hours per week, so about 10% less work. And it looks like you're also just not working on that Friday, so you have a 3-day weekend. So you get drunk on Thursday night.
You get 2 extra days, basically, of drinking.
Right. Instead of the Friday night, you're hungover Saturday. Then Sunday's like you get all the things done you couldn't get done during the week. You get
Iceland
2 of those days. And you get a 100% expansion of that time off. And for our non-drinkers, I guess you go from 2 to 3 days off.
I mean, we're being cheeky, but Iceland does have a terrible alcoholism problem because it's so dark there.
That's very true. Yeah.
Like, it's a horrible scourge on society. So anyway.
That's very true.
One of the
what percentage of Icelanders are just drinking an additional 4 hours or another day per week.
Anyway, one of the positive outcomes. So basically, they're saying it works. They're saying like productivity hasn't dropped off. Hey, Gen Z, the younger generation was like, stop making us show up to a job that we're, twiddling our thumbs out. We don't need to be here 40 hours. We can get the same amount of work done in 10 to 20% less time. Great. But what's interesting is one of the most significant outcomes is that there's been a positive effect on gender equality, meaning sharing of the household duties. If everyone's working less, 2 parents, whatever gender they are just able to spend more time at home. And it's like, hey, if everyone's got 3 days at home instead of just 2, hey, maybe we can clean out the garage together. We can meal prep together. We can spend more time with the kids, yada, yada, yada. It just balances things out a little bit more. So, as we talked about earlier, great, love a 4-day work week. The U.S. is too big and complicated and multifaceted to replicate anything that happens in these tiny Scandinavian countries that are the size of Tampa, Florida, or Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I'm into it. We do a 4-day work week for most of the summer for our employees. We're a bit seasonal. I would love to do it year round, but we are a bit seasonal. And I think there's a lot of companies and a lot of businesses that truly only have 30 hours of work per week to do, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of people being like, I don't need to be here right now. I'd rather be doing my laundry. This is obviously anecdotal, but I would rather be. And so like if you just take those hours and you give them back to the employees and you say, hey, squeeze in all the work that you used to be doing in 4 days, and then you can enjoy your time off and get that laundry done, and you don't have to be here for that crap time. You're more engaged while you're here and you're more engaged while you're out, then it's just a better balance. And I think Jamie Dimon will definitely be implementing this policy in the near
For sure, yeah, definitely.
So to
He's going to be a
continue
big
my
proponent of this.
sarcasm this
But
week.
he was like yelling on the employee call. He was like, "Get your asses back in the chairs! Get your butts back in the chairs!"
Okay, AJ, we have a couple more things here, but we're running up against time. How do you feel about pushing some of these guys to next week?
Let's push, but I just want to end with this while we're talking about Iceland and travel. I just want to end with this article you sent me about, I didn't know about this at all. It was a Wall Street Journal article. Now you can travel for less by buying someone else's vacation. I didn't know about this market. This was new to me. Have you heard of this before?
I never heard of it before. I saw an Instagram thing. To be fair, I think they're they're lending a lot of credibility to these websites. There's this website Spare Fair. There's one called Roomy. And I went on the Reddit. I went on the websites and tried to find flights. So essentially, if you book a one-way flight that's non-refundable and you can't show up, and you know you can't show up for whatever reason, you can sell it. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
it's a way to monetize it.
Here's 2 tickets one way from LAX to London Gatwick for £190.
I mean, it seems
August
insane
16th.
that you can tell the people that you're not showing up. You can tell the company that you're not showing up, and they'll just resell your ticket, right? Or they'll just sell that ticket to somebody else. Like,
yeah,
they oversell flights, and you can't transfer the ticket to somebody else on like a ticket to an event. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so apparently there's some loophole that they worked out. I got on the websites. It did not seem like there was a lot of inventory, and there did not seem to be. The Reddit forums were not into it, and people were like, "I dare you to show up at a hotel with someone else's name in a foreign country and see how that works out for you." So there is. It's gonna take some brave souls to adopt this program. I'm definitely a brave soul. So
I was gonna say if we have someone as listeners, if anyone's tried this, please let us know. But I have a feeling we will get some results from Shane Mason in the next year.
It suits our lifestyle. We work remotely. I'm down to take a last-minute flight to London from New York.
I mean, look. Also, I mean, you and I at this point, like, we have places we have to be. Like, if you need to come to New York, you need to fly out on Saturday between the hours of 9 and 12, and you're gonna pay a premium for that. Mm-hmm. But in our early 20s, like, I don't know, I've got 10 days of vacation. Like, I want to go to London. How can I get to London for $400? Oh, if I fly out on Thursday night at 3 a.m, it'll cost me $300. Like, sure, this is great for young people to get out and see the world. And as we talked about earlier, we have a problem with all of us looking at our own belly buttons. Like, there are other cultures out there, folks. So get a spare fare and go explore the world.
Right on. What a good note to finish up on. Thank you so much for listening this week, folks. This has been episode 153 of the Liquidity Event, airing on July 24, 2025. Email us your financial problems at liquidityevent@brooklynfi.com. Please actually do. We'd love to discuss your problems on the air. Leave us a voicemail at memo.fm/theliquidityevent, and we'll play it. Finally, Stans can leave us a review if they want to be weird about it. All 5-star reviews are appreciated. Everybody else, please see the door. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
See you next week. Bye. Actually, we won't see you next week. We're at the retreat. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Yes.